What is going on, everyone? Anthony here. Thank you so much for watching this video on Let's Talk Resident Evil. And yes, I stand corrected. They did announce RE4 Remake at the State of Play. I thought it was going to be after Village DLC, but no. They announced Village VR, as an addition, and we'll talk about that in a little bit in terms of this game. But the trailer's out. The fans are excited about this over the Village DLC, it seems. So let's break down this trailer and see what we got. March 24th, 2023. And it is coming out really soon, which I'm super stoked about. So we knew they were working hard on this. And when we first saw this and heard the music, I'm like, is this Last of Us or something? What the hell is this? But no, they just got that twangy acoustic sound aesthetic to this again, which is nice. And I like how it unravels here as the R. And Resident Evil. Boom. 4.
Condor 1 to roost. I've located baby eagle.
This is Leon right here and the president. So Leon looks a little bit older here. He's clearly played by Nick Apostolides, which I can tell from watching the trailer for the first time. This isn't my first time seeing the trailer. I streamed the State of Play, so I already did stream or saw it once. This is my second time seeing it, but pausing it here because of how fast these scenes move, you can see Leon is being assigned to go find the president's daughter. I mean, the story is essentially the same here. It's, Leon survived the Raccoon City incident, and here he is now a government agent, and it looks like right here is when he's being assigned. The president's putting his hand on his shoulder. Leon puts his head down, and it's ready to go. Again, got the crows. You got the woods, the creepy villager vibes. And when I say village, I don't mean RE Village, but a lot of people will make that comparison. When Resident Evil Village was made, a lot of people were saying, yeah, when they do RE4 Remake, they're going to just reuse a lot of the assets. And that's exactly what they do. I mean, that's what companies do. But it's also going to have its own aesthetic, because this village in Spain is going to be different than your Romanian village, as people would know if you played the OG RE4. So this looks great. I mean, the RE engine looks awesome, and this right here looks good. This can be the first cabin we actually enter. That's what this looks like. Obviously, it looks redone, so it doesn't look like anything we've seen before, but, Leon's alone. He's walking up. He's not, doesn't really have his gun drawn yet. It looks like he's just kind of walking, like not, he didn't run into the first Ganado yet. Maybe this is when he gets dropped off by the two guys. If he's still, dropped off by the same guys, he might just be, we'll see. But let's see here. Yeah, look at this. This definitely looks like the first cabin. Leon's coat looks awesome, by the way. And there it is, guys. That is a juicy shot right there. That right there looks like our village where we meet the chainsaw guy for the first time, and where they also burn our drivers in the original, where they burn them at the on the hook there, on a meat hook. But we don't see any bodies in there, but maybe that's just kind of alluding that's where we'll be. The entry point right there, if you see like the little fence right across from the fire there, that looks like it either could be the house that Leon jumps in to defend himself from the chainsaw, and the tower that rings the bell, looks like it's right here to the right. So it does look like they kept some of the layout the same. They just kind of switched it up and modernized it, and it looks great. I mean, this is a great shot right here, just to show, hey, it's gonna be similar. It's not gonna be too different from what you remember, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. Some skulls hanging, of course, some creepy imagery for the village. Classic. Now, this right here, this could be the big cheese fight. This looks like either it's a shot of Leon behind a like the fire, like the camera's like, behind the fire, and he's just like standing there, or he's in a burned down barn, like in RE4 OG when he fights the big cheese. That's what this looks like. That's the vibes that I get from it. And that's Luis with the Red 9. I'm so happy the Red 9 is back, guys. That's like my favorite handgun. in Resident Evil. So I am just, and Luis is here. So again, they didn't, cut Luis. They didn't cut any of these characters. This seems to be a pretty true remake for the fans so far. Okay, this right here. This definitely looks like the first encounter with the Ganado. I mean, he's looking at the fire. He's faced away. This looks like it's kind of cinematic, so I feel like Leon's going to walk in and it's going to do that thing where the camera kind of follows him and he says, excuse me, sir, or if he does that exact thing. Like, look at this. That looks killer. Okay, that's a Ganado next gen. That's a Ganado in RE engine. This is the first time we're seeing the face of these enemies, and it looks so good, guys. It looks so good, and I prefer this design and this aesthetic and enemy type as opposed to the lichens and stuff that we got in Village. That looks crazy, and you can see his eyes are like an orangey red. So clearly the Las Plagas are still in play here. And that's the insignia right there, which, we've recognized that. At least that's what it looks like at the end of those little chains there. It looks like the insignia logo just sharpened up. But I don't know what that is up against. That could be Sadler. It looks like Sadler in his robe. And it looks like it is the church. So you can see the insignia right there on the wall. And this easily looks like either a basement of a church or it is the actual church. They just made it more of like, very dim lit and more grimy, which I like. The rituals here are a big thing for Resident Evil 4. That obviously has to play a part into the whole story and the lore. So this looks fucking killer. I'm going to be saying that a lot, but it does. So deal with it. Oh my God. This is the first time I've even seen this. I mean, because some of these scenes, guys, when I saw this for the first time, it went by so quick. I couldn't even keep up. That right there is the hooded castle Ganados, and the guy in the front looks like it's one of the bald dudes who kind of looks like Kratos. That's the castle. That is the castle. So the castle's in the game. It's not cut. I don't know how long it's going to be. Of course, we don't know how long the game's going to be overall, but this right here, imagine playing the game through this castle with it being like with this lighting and everything. Oh my God, guys, this is good. This is going to be crazy. Okay, so here we go. Looks like we got some spooky shots here of the Ganados. One of the hand and one balder dude, and then a guy on the left that looks like the guy we met in the beginning. And this is Ada. Okay, so I stand corrected then. So the chick in the beginning, it doesn't really look like Ada, because it looks like this chick is clearly Ada. I mean, that is Ada to the T, but she's obviously not in her dress. She looks like she's in, looks just like a long sleeve sweater or something like that. But that looks like, I don't even know who that is on the boat. It's hard to tell. It's a further away shot. It looks like Leon. It looks like he's got the short sleeve on, after he gets his coat off. So yeah, it looks like he's got the black armor shirt on, and oh, that's the big cheese, motherfucker. That's the big cheese right there. Looks like he actually meets you in the house, or at least this looks like the same house that he runs into Ada out the window. Where Ada's standing, this looks like it can easily be inside the castle, maybe where you actually meet her for the first time, where she throws the sunglasses at Leon to disappear. It looks like she's, doing her thing. She's behind the scenes. She looks like she knows what's going on here. Maybe not all of it, but she's obviously involved, right? We know that from RE4. Now, how more involved will they let her be? I guess we'll see, but I would like to see more of Ada in the overall story. And of course, though, we all know what this means, guys. We're going to have ourselves the fish monster boss fight with the hooks again. That's what that means. And of course, the big cheese, which looks like he has. It looks like he has more of an intimidating stance. it looks like he has a hat now and a trench coat. Okay, this right here, we know what this is, guys. This is the scene where he at least thinks that he's getting overtaken by the parasite. He's getting overtaken by the virus in that scene where it's really creepy and his veins start showing. Very scary. And it looks like we're going to get that scene. We got Ashley, of course, who's, you know, the main damsel in distress here. And we got, you know, some screams here, but that looks like Ganado slashing his axe. Right there. Looking pissed. Looks like Robert Englund here, actually. The guy kind of reminds me of Robert Englund. He's got, like, the beard. He's got the big nose. If any of you guys just saw, you know, Stranger Things, Robert Englund, he kind of looks like an older Robert Englund from that episode. But, yeah, they are still going to be using weapons, so that we know. And that looks like... that could be the church. It looks like it's a fenced-in tower there.
You will receive our most sacred body.
And that is Sadler. You will receive our most sacred body.
It begins now.
There he is. He's got the staff and everything. I mean, this is how you want Sadler to look in this game. You know, this is how you exactly want him to look. Even though he's kind of out of focus, he looks like Sadler. They didn't change it that crazy. And look at this. He still's got the tentacles coming out of his hands and everything like that. Resident Evil 4. Great logo. I like the tree branches in the logo. I like that little touch. That's really cool.
If I could just forget what happened that night.
Okay, so this is a classic, iconic shot. I'm really happy they kept it. Leon being transported into the village. His coat looks awesome. Nick Apostolidis sounds great. And he says he can't forget that night. So Raccoon City is really burnt into his head, as it is most people. And maybe we'll get a more post-traumatic Leon. You know, I think that is a thing we might see. We might see him more affected by the events in Raccoon City, where in RE4, he didn't really seem that bothered by it. I mean, he was bothered to a certain degree because obviously he has all this experience and he has a lot. He still has some baggage, but it would be cool if they showed more of that side of Leon.
The pain.
The pain. Look at that. That right there. Ashley looks fucking awesome. I want to hear what Leon says.
If I could just forget what happened that night. The pain. Even for a second.
Even for a second. So it's like no matter what he does, he can't even forget it. And I like this. He looks all combated out, ready to go. He's got the picture of Ashley to show to the villager. I mean, guys, this looks great. Now we got a little bit more here.
This time, it can be different.
This time it can be different. So this is a great shot too of him walking into the village. So this is it. This is him when he probably gets out of the car and goes into the village for the first time. You can literally see it in the distance there. And or maybe it's a different part of the game. But I think this seems like it's a Leon that is trying to overcome Raccoon City and is trying to find a better outcome. Trying to get this situation handled. Trying to save the president's daughter because he knows that might stop his nightmares. That might stop his demons. That might stop, you know, the resentment he feels about that night of maybe not getting everyone out alive, right? These are things that we got to think about because this is a more worn down Leon. This isn't the rookie cop that we saw in RE2 or RE2 Remake, right? But he can add some more layers to the emotion here. Nick Apostolidis is a great voice actor. And we knew he was going to be the choice for this. I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer. But at the same time, how they can write his character can be, you know, it very well can play into that damaged cycle, you know, that you deal with a traumatic event. And he says it has to. And there it is, chat room. March 24th, 2023. Some people might be like, is it only on PS5? No, it's going to be on everything, but And I like this too. You see how the bottom where it says Leon's sheepskin leather bomber jacket appears with permission from Shot New York City. So they literally took that jacket and gave him permission. So that's kind of funny. PlayStation VR content also in development. So that means, guys, there will be a first-person mode for this game. So this game will be in first person and third person. This is the first Resident Evil game that will be the VR option and the over-the-shoulder option. What do you think about this, guys? I mean, this is kind of nuts. Now, the VR2 had a plethora of stuff. The Village, Resident Evil Village, did get a announcement for a VR2. So that means they are going to be doing VR2 on Village probably first, and then VR2 on Resident Evil 4. But this will be the first game that we'll get that will have first person as one option and third person as the other. And maybe because of the success of RE4 and Oculus, they were like, you know what, fuck it. Let's just do all the Resident Evil stuff on VR. This is just an option. This doesn't make or break it for me, guys. You know, you can clearly play the game and just turn this off or ignore it, not even play it. But for people that buy it, it is another initiative to go play it. And hey, for people like me that want to get the VR2 and to check it out, I can play a stream of RE4 Remake on the over the shoulder, and then I can do a VR run of it, you know. So if anything, it just makes it a little bit unique, but it doesn't really, you know, take away from the game. It says it's also in development, so it says PSVR content. So does that mean, is it going to be a mode, or is it going to be the whole game? I think it's going to be the whole game, like Village. But that's just me. But, you know, obviously let me know what you think down below. Now, judging from the PlayStation blog that they put out right after this, it looks like the game is going to be developed with, you know, keeping the essence of the original and the direction and still making it different, but keeping it similar, and they're not going to change it too much. They want to keep the essence of the direction. They really made a point to say that in the press release, and I think because of that, the backlash for RE3 Remake was heard. I think they're trying to make this a remake that doesn't cut shit out. They're trying to be really transparent with that right away. At least that's what I got from this PlayStation blog article that was posted after the stream. So again, it looks like it will have the same exact story, and it will just be beefed up. It'll be a remake that we actually want. It will probably be in lines of RE2 in terms of how people really want a remake to be. I still liked RE3 Remake, but again, I know there's people that don't. I respect your opinion. That's fine. But I think this will be the ultimate remake that a lot of people are going to be, it's just going to be selling like hotcakes. And I'm going to try to get the collector's edition. I'm going to try to get it all, you know me, and I'll be covering it every step of the way, as always, here on Let's Talk Resident Evil. So thank you so much for watching. Again, hit that thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more LTRE content. And I'll catch you guys in the next RE4 Remake video. Take care. A big shout out to everyone that supports me on Patreon and YouTube memberships. YouTube members grants you access to voting on content with custom badges and emojis for chats. Patreon gives you the same voting privilege, but even more. Gain access to uncut recording sessions, weekly exclusive Patreon shows, and live hangouts on Patreon. Tiers start at just $1. Thank you so much for your support, and I will catch you next time.